When you look at our situation as a nation today, I don't want to be a Jeremiah or anything. It's not like I want to stand up here and cry and, woe is us. But just as Judah had to experience God's discipline, we might have to as well. But it's always for our good. And I think the worst thing that we could do, hear this, the worst thing that we can do as Christians is to sit idly by and do nothing about the things that we see that are ungodly. Or maybe the worst thing that we could do as Christians is not just to sit idly by, but to do what the people of Judah did, which was substitute the one true God for a cheap substitute of a God. You ever try to substitute something for the real thing? Does it ever really work out that great? It's really never. My wife, I told you this story before in Wellsville. I'm not sure if the other campuses heard this before, but my wife one day tried to trick me. This was years ago when she really tried to, get our family to eat healthy. But by the grace of God, we're making our way there. But she's got me to deal with. But she tried to trick me one day to give me, instead of brownies, like double fudge brownies, she gave me brownies that had black beans in them. She didn't tell me about it. It's like, something's different about this. It's not the real thing, is it? No, I slipped black bean brownies in there. I'm like, what? Why would you do that, right? I don't want a substitute. I want the real thing. I'll give you another example. Milk, right? Because when I grew up, we drank gallons and gallons of milk. That's why I'm this tall. We just drank milk, right? Because why? They told me milk does a body, help me out. Good. You remember that commercial, right, with the mustache? Milk does a body good. And then they find out that milk doesn't actually do a body good when it's ultra pasteurized and infused with different hormones and all this different stuff. It's not good for your body when that happens. And so what are people drinking now? Almond milk. Really? Almond milk? First of all, how do you milk an almond? Like, how does that work? I think they're lying to us. Secondly, hormones or not, if you give your kid real milk and then try to sneak in some almond milk, you'll have a rebellion on your hands. Am I right? It's like, you lied to us. You can't milk an almond, But they know that. Why? Because they know the difference between the real thing and the fake, the substitute stuff. Now, don't worry. We drink regular milk. It's just we spend 3 times as much on the organic stuff. So we're good. We're still good. We're still doing our bodies good, right? Anywho, in Jeremiah, God gives us a picture of how we often settle for cheap substitutes in the face of something that is true and real, that is right in front of us. Jeremiah 2, I love this passage of scripture. I want to share it with you this morning. Jeremiah 2, verses 9 through 13 says, "Therefore I still contend with you, declares the Lord. And with your children's children I will contend. For cross to the coast of Cyprus and see, or send to Kedar and examine with care. See if there has been such a thing." This is what he's saying. See if there's been this. "Has a nation changed its gods, even though they are no gods?" I mean, I read that and I'm like, oh my goodness, how prophetic of those words are. That happened in Judah. They were literally exchanging the one true God with all the blessings that they had as a result of being a covenant people with a God who could do nothing for them, except for look at them. And yet we fast forward some thousands of years later, that's exactly what our nation is doing. Who does that? That's what he's saying here. Who does that? You look at the other nations that serve Baal, they don't do it even. They're committed to Baal. Who exchanges their God, he says. He's appalled. It says this, "But my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit." He says this, "Be appalled, O heavens. Be shocked. Be utterly desolate, declares the Lord." God is literally telling Jeremiah the words to say. He's up in heaven with all the angels saying, do you guys realize what's happening here? Like, he's shocked. The angels are shocked. The heavenly host is shocked that the people of God would actually exchange their God for another God that cannot profit them. They're literally, the word is shocked, he says. Verse 13, "For my people have committed 2 evils. The first one, they have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." The living water that never runs out, and yet they've preoccupied their time building a well that will hold no water. I think there's a parallel there today. God's people had pure living water available to them, but rather than drink from the eternal well, they busied their minds with building these nasty wells that had no ability to hold any water. And let's just be honest this morning. We do the same thing. I mean, you might not be busy in the backyard getting dirty, building a dirty well, a nasty well, but you're busy in your life focusing on things that will hold no water, no value, no profit for you, all the while, right in front of your nose, right in front of my nose, there's a living well. There's a living well. Here's the truth. We got to see this. And I think bigger than anything else that I've said today, I want you to see that there's pursuits in this life that will leave you empty. They'll satisfy for a season. They'll satisfy for a short time. But ultimately, they will be the well that runs dry.